you get to participate in you know, all of these research studies that we see? Do you get to work with other doctors on different studies?
Yes.
And then also as a doctor, how sort of on top of these studies you have to be, because it seems like there's like a new publication virtually every single hour.
Yeah,
So how sort of on top of that do you guys need to be, and how do you stay on top of it is my question really.
I think it depends on the individual. So you can either be like a medical student that just does their exams and that's it, like they're trying to do, I wouldn't say bare minimum, they're just getting through medical school. And then you'll have other people who want to be ahead of this committee and then want to do this audit and then want to do this research project and then want to do this randomized control trial and so on and so forth. So I think it just depends on the individual. I guess there's no right or wrong answer, but then again I guess it depends as well what field you want to go into. So I've seen some people who really interested in neurology, so in order to get into neurology it will help if they do a research project in neurology or they do all of these other things, but you basically have to make time for it on top of everything else you're making time for, which can be quite challenging. So I remember I think I did an audit in, was it like second year or third year? I can't remember, but it was during COVID times, so it wasn't too bad in terms of making time for it, and pretty much all of it was like done virtual as well, so it wasn't the end of the world. And I think I did like another research project as well, like in the summer. I could not remember for the life of me what that was about. It was like a good few years ago, but yeah, you basically have to make time for it on top of everything else, and then actually finding the opportunities is the hard thing. So some of them are publicized, and again it's like you jumping on an existing research project. Other times you basically have to find a doctor and be like, oh hey, so like have you got any research projects going on, like do you need someone to do the data collection, do you need someone to do this, do you need someone to do that, and then you might be able to get a publication out of it from that.
Yeah, so in terms of research opportunities, I think I decided quite early on that I don't like research, but all the opportunities that I have come across have happened very organically. So I'll be sitting in a clinic with a doctor whose specialty is this part of this very specific condition that affects the heart, and then they'll have like some kind of consultant that will have some kind of research going on, and then you sort of jump onto it as a medical student. So it's not something you have to do. If you want to go into a specific specialty, then it's good to do because it will get you, on the ladder kind of thing. But yeah, definitely not something that you have to do. And again, all those opportunities sort of happen very, organically. So if you want to help out, you can. You do a lot of data collection. Like
it's very tedious. Like it'll be tedious work, unfortunately, but it'll be worth it to be able to see like you've got a publication at the end of it. So yeah, again, it depends on who you are, really.
And I think earlier you were saying about how our structure is 6 years, so our course is 6 years, and lots of unis do this, but in your third year you're doing something called an intercalated degree, so it's sort of midway through your medical school.
Like a master's, is it?
It can be a master's, mostly it's a bachelor's, yeah.
Okay.
So for UCL it works differently at different unis. You have like a list of topics and subjects that you can study, so we both actually studied global health, so right now we have degrees for medical sciences with global health, and then hopefully when we graduate we'll get our MBBS. So in the space of a year you get another degree essentially. But that's where like a lot of research opportunities are. So people did different things. So some of my friends might have did cardiology and they were working with consultants on their cases, and then they got publications out of that. So if you're keen on research, then look at universities that have a intercalated degree.
And I think when you work naturally, like there'll be some sort of research for you to do. Like even as GPs, there's ways for them to optimize their practice and optimize treatments and stuff. You'll probably have to do some sort of research projects on that. So it can be a very brief project, or it can be something that might take the span of like months or years to complete.
And it really shows that how important it is to be literate in these kind of areas, because it's so easy for the media to sort of spin something in a certain way. Yeah. But then when you read a headline and then you okay, study shows, you look at the study and the study didn't show that at all. It's just very skewed. Yeah, it's very misinterpreted. So I think those kind of skills are important, and we do learn them. Yeah,
but I think it's also important in terms of like patients. Like we learn about this as well. Like it's something known as patient activation. So how involved is the patient? And you haven't covered that part yet. No, it's all right. How involved is the patient in terms of their care? So some people will see the doctor as the be all and end all, like whatever the doctor tells me to do, I'll do it. And then you have the other end of the spectrum where patients are really involved in their care and they're like a part of the team. They may even like research things and bring it forward to the doctor. I've seen these treatments. Do you think I should go forward with this? So that person would say is quite activated.
You're saying a lot, which is bringing up a lot in my mind.
But that's what like we're hoping for people to do, because I think it's quite like what I've realized, that's why communication skills are so important. People will hang on to each word like a doctor will say, and there's some things which you say and like you don't, not that you don't realize, but like you're just so used to how you speak, or maybe even just like you using fillers or the terminology you use, you'll be so stuck with using scientific terminology, and it's like, wait, this person doesn't know what I'm talking about. I need to like break this down or like simplify it. So I think it's really hard just being that doctor that the patient's just taking everything you say, or maybe even taking it like very literally. So I think that's why it's really important, I think, for patients as well to kind of take initiative with their health, because you only see us for that short appointment, maybe a short telephone consult. You're going to be dealing with that condition or that illness or whatever it is for the remainder of its course. So I think that's why it's really important for people to research, but research in good sources.
It's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can Google the wrong thing, not understand the reason why a doctor might not be giving you a certain treatment even though you've seen it online. There is a lot to think about, and I think sometimes patients come with ideas but they don't realize the background, whether or not it's suitable for them, kind of thing. So yeah, definitely a double-edged sword.
Thanks for watching this clip of the Education Lounge podcast. To watch another clip, click up here or here. To watch the full episode, click somewhere down here. And don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps the algorithm.
The Education Lounge podcast.